Just first checking on availability. Players obviously are returning from international duty, and but Masa is still away. Correct?
Yeah, correct. So Kai, Boris, Christian Fletcher all returned in market and were a part of training today. And then Aaron's going to still be with Guatemala for the Gold Cup, and so is Matty Peltola. He kicks off in a couple hours for the U21 tournament.
Then on the injury front, um, anyone back in the mix or out of the
Not for
mix?
not for this weekend, and no one's going to be out from this last match. So Peglo's making really good progress. Jackson's making progress as well, as is Christian. We're hopeful for all those guys potentially to be back in the mix whenever we return. But we need to see how they progress over the next week to 10 days before I would confirm that by any means. And then Lucas Mignon is still a little ways away.
And just a question about team mentality and emotionally, how it's been the past week overcoming a heavy defeat.
Yeah, listen, it's not easy. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And when we come in Monday, we look it straight in the eyes, Steve. I mean, I think that what you've seen from me is someone that's not going to try to speak in cliched terms or not speak, in a genuine fashion. And I'm the same way to the team every single day. We know that this result, it's the second time it's happened this year where it's completely unacceptable. At the same time, we are a group that's going to stay together and we're going to respond. So there's no quit in this group. I've never seen that. I understand that when you lose like that, you could question that, about the fight in the group. That's fine. That's fair. But how we come back, I can promise you, the way the group has come back, the way that we've tried to communicate as a staff and how they've communicated to us is that we're ready to respond as we did after, San Jose. We have a performance against Cincinnati that is really tight, and then we go to Red Bull and get a very important result. So I think we're more than capable of doing that again, to be able to go to a difficult place for anyone to get a result in Salt Lake, and that's our focus.
Thanks.
Next, we'll go to Dave Johnson.
And Troy, along those lines, giving confidence for the response, as we talked about in the broadcast, your team, you don't want to concede 7 goals, but the fight was there through the entire game. I think about, Schnegg putting his body on the line later, right down the line. So if you take out those moments, the commitment is still there. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can't take out those moments. The moments go hand in hand, and that's again, Dave, just speaking honestly. The moments are too often and too frequent, and this is something we want to eliminate. But what you identify in someone like David Schnegg is exactly what I identified to the group in our Monday reflection period about we need more players to be able to step up in the way that he exemplified how we want to perform as a group and how we want guys to be able to put everything that they have every single second into every match, every training session, every video session. I mean, he does it every single day, and we need more guys to step up in that fashion. And there's ownership there. The players. I tell them constantly, man, I'm with them. I'm with them in this moment, in difficult times. Because I believe in this group, and this group is way more capable than what it displayed the other day. And someone like David Schnegg, I think, has been very consistent in his performances this year, and we need more of that in the group.
Yeah, no, I wasn't trying to put rose-colored glasses on a 7-1 loss, but as you as a coach or as we watch it or supporters, you still want to see that fire and commitment. I guess that's what I was saying. It seems like it's there. Now it's about the execution at the proper way.
Yeah, I understand you completely. I just don't ever want to mix messages that way, in good times and bad times.
Next, we'll go to Bruce Murray.
Bruce, you got to put up your microphone.
Okay, great. Hi, Troy. How are you?
Doing all right. Thanks, Bruce.
Hey, on a lighter note, I wanted you to know that you're going to get an awful lot of support from a bunch of kids that are out in Utah, including my 9-year-old son who plays for Bethesda, and they are going to go out there and the players are going to hear them. Trust me, they're all going to be at the game. Okay.
Need that support there. Thank you.
Yes, and then the other question I had, and I know you as a player have been in the same situation. Altitude. It's not crushing altitude. It's not La Paz. It's not Quito, but it is altitude. Is there anything special you do for the altitude, or is that just something where you get off the plane and just go for it, or how does it work these days? Because back when I was there, you just got off the plane and played.
Yeah. I mean, similar to how we're going to approach it. I mean, I think that the way we viewed this is we prepared for it. Listen, I coached in New Mexico for 3 years, so it was at altitude. It was 5,000 feet of altitude, and it does have an effect on you. There's different ways to look at it. I mean, some places that are in the MLS right now, I can think of Austin. They play at altitude a few times a year, and they have a room that helps their players acclimate to that at their training ground. That's not something that we have here, but we just decided to reduce the amount of time that we were there. I was there in 23 with Red Bull, and there's studies that if you're there an extra day, then sometimes it can have more of an effect on you. So we made the decision just to travel tomorrow, and that's how we're going to prepare, and hopefully we can get to the match, have a good match and a good result, and then we can get on the plane and head back home.
Awesome. All right. Good luck.
Thanks, man.
And then next we'll go to Dennis Gomez.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Troy. I have a quick question about the goal differential. Last year, DC United eliminating goal differential. What's been the assessment on the goal differential, and also how do you handle a game that you're already lost but don't want to lose for more than any more goals?
So the first part I understand, I mean, of your question, which is we have two outliers that I think really add to the goal differential this year that we absolutely own, and I'm not using outlier as a term of trying to soften that, but those are two heavy results, right? I think over the last 2 months since the San Jose match, we're one of the better teams in the league about conceding goals, and the other night we did not handle ourselves in the same fashion that we've seen over the course of beginning of April to the beginning of June. So that's something that we unfortunately have to reevaluate and reset the group again because of the result on the weekend. But I know this group is capable of doing that, and they're committed to doing that because we picked up some good results during those last couple of months when we conceded less. And we made it difficult on the teams that we played against. We have to do that again. We have to get back to that because that's when we're at our best. And that's a big part of the focus. I didn't understand the second part of the question, Dennis. If maybe you want to reframe that, I just didn't understand it.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So my question is, once you're in the game, let's say halftime you're down 4-0. How do you assess a game to not concede more? Like, what was the talk at halftime in the Chicago match where you don't want to concede more because that just keeps up piling it up?
Yeah,
so that was referring to that.
I see. Yeah, I mean that to me is within the coaching staff. Some discussions that we've had to be able, if we're in that situation again. I hope we're not, though. That's obviously the thought processes that we have is that we're not going to be in that position again. I think there's different learning lessons from that scenario about maybe things to do differently, but that's stuff that we'll move forward with, and hopefully we're not going to be in that situation again.
Thank you. And then just a quick follow-up. What's the relationship this year with the Luton United players and the coaching staff there, and possibly calling up some old players that playing at DC United like Moses Nyman and Pedro Santos, who was a very effective player for you last year?
Yeah, I mean, Loudoun is an independent club, an independent USL club. So I know that in maybe 2-3 years ago, in past years, there was a direct affiliation there. There's certainly a relationship in terms of Garrison Tubbs has been on loan there from us to them, and Hakeem Karamoko is currently on loan there. So by proximity, it makes sense. but because it's not a direct affiliate or a second team for us, we don't have the ability to call their players up. That's just not in the structure of something that's possible.
Thank you for that. And then one last one is, what's your assessment of Real Salt Lake, and how are you planning to front this game to get the old 3 point?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, someone like Pablo Mastroianni is someone that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. He was always generous to me whenever he was at the Rapids, and I was at the Charlotte Independence as an assistant coach 10 years ago. Probably for 3-4 seasons, I was able to be with them. They were our affiliate in the MLS USL affiliate days, and we've stayed connected ever since. And what I admire about him is how he gets his groups to play and be committed to one another. I still see that. I know that they also are in a position where they want to put more points on the table. But when I watch their matches, I see many times where the margin of error is really small, and it can go in their favor very quickly because the commitment from the group is on a high level. And I would expect that again this weekend, no doubt about it.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
And then we'll go back to Dave Johnson.
And Troy, again, I'm trying to excuse last week, but you're not that far removed from what you considered, I think, your best result in a year and a half, the FC Cincinnati game. So against that backdrop, what are some of the keys or the flashpoints we should be watching and listening for on Saturday to have success, given what you just said about Real Salt Lake?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Dave. I mean, this is the perspective that we have to keep. I mean, I think it's our responsibility to be able to go out and perform and be consistent, and that's something that I don't shy away from. We've lacked that consistency, but we have hit points where we've had really good performances, particularly away from home. I think over the course of my time with the club, and the togetherness is something that I think that we feed off of. So being able to start the match in a good fashion, not conceding chances, being able to execute the way we want to close space, and not allow a team like Salt Lake to get behind us. I think that's going to be a really important starting point for us. And then, like you saw when you referenced the Cincinnati match, not only were we able to not concede space and allow the opponent to get in behind us, but we're the ones that are taking the initiative. We're the ones playing in their half. We're the ones generating early opportunities. And I think we need that. We need that to be able to be confident to get a result there.
Thanks.
Then just one from me, Troy. Homegrown Gavin Turner was able to make his debut this past weekend. Talk to us a little bit about how the team has kind of taken on this mentality of next man up, and then how the guys have been able to kind of step up with some players out due to injury or even, internationally.
Yeah, listen, it wasn't an easy situation for Gavin to get his debut, but I thought it was the right time for him to get his debut, and he had a couple of good moments in the match. He was in and around a couple of half chances, and he has those types of instincts. I mean, he has tremendous instincts that I think you're going to continue to see be developed here, and hopefully at a certain stage flourish here. I really like this player. There's a bright future ahead for him. And then I like the way the group embraced his appearance in a situation in which you could probably be forgetful of something like that when you lose as heavy as we did. But I see guys like David Schnegg, I see guys like Derek Dotson, Fidel Barajas, who's a young player himself, going and making sure that they congratulate him in a really difficult time. And that again, the cohesion of the group to continue to be selfless in a lot of ways and reflect in the right ways for a teammate is a very important thing. So Gavin will be in the team this weekend again, and there could be another opportunity for him this weekend.